Today we talk about lactate. Good morning or good afternoon whenever you're watching this week's video, which is going to be, as you guys saw, on lactate and why I decided to invest in a lactate meter. This is the Lactate Plus meter, so I'm going to be talking about how I've been using it, what I've learned, besides the fact that these things, lactate strips, are way too expensive, and just overall thoughts on lactate training. I assume if you follow this channel, then you follow Lionel Sanders' channel, and you guys have probably seen one of his latest videos where he talks about how he thinks lactate is, I'm not sure what he thinks on lactate, to be honest, but today you will find out what I think about lactate. And I will also be doing we have about a 2-hour progression ride. I've been doing this workout, of pretty much a very similar version of this workout, every week for the past almost 6 weeks. It's a endurance ride, primarily zone 2, LT1. We try to stay right around the first lactate threshold, which for me, heart rate wise, is between 135 to 145 or so. And lactate wise, it's around 1.6 to 2.0 millimoles. So the goal is, during the intervals, my heart rate and lactate is in that zone. And the way I test the heart rate is with the heart rate strap, obviously, and then lactate. I will be taking some lactate measurements after each interval. The way this workout works is I think it's 5 by 15 minutes, and we kind of progress. Every interval gets a little harder. We have the power. When I first started doing this workout 6 weeks ago or so, the intervals were like 8 minutes long, and now we're up to 15 minutes. So we started at 8 minutes, then we went up to 10, I think, then 12, and now we're at 15. We may progress to 20, then 30, we'll see. But I will be taking, as I said, lactate measurements after each interval. Hopefully my dad can come down and film a bit so he can show you guys. If not, I have the Insta360 that I can use as well to show you guys how I take the lactate measurements. I'll try to get good readings. Sometimes you got to be really careful. If you touch the skin, you get the sample contaminated, then yeah, there's $2 down the drain. That's how much one of the strips costs. So we'll see how good I am at taking lactate today, and then I will talk about thoughts and kind of what I learned and what I think about it either during or after the workout. Well, we just finished up. Also, I do want to say that I do this bike workout after usually hard swims and the saunas, so my lactate is usually a bit higher, I find, after doing workouts before this workout. If that makes any sense, than if I was just to do this straight. So take that for what it's worth. But as long as I'm consistent and I make sure to do it every week, the same thing every week, then there's nothing really to worry about. We can compare back to. And it's cool because I have been comparing lactate to power numbers over the progression, and they have improved. So power has gone up and lactate's gone down, which is what we want to see. So that's kind of how we're gauging if it's working or not. Anyway, I'm going to go eat some breakfast, and we'll get on the bike and start the workout. Oh, and really quickly, if you do want to help me afford more lactate strips because they aren't cheap. Oh, and really quickly, if you do want to help me afford more lactate strips and see more videos like this because they are not cheap, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. And as always, you can use code NVDM to save 15% on all raw nutrition products. It really does help me out. Thanks, guys. Alright, we are warming up. As you guys can see, we have a little bit of a progression in the warm-up. And not only do I use this warm-up as, well, a warm-up, but I also kind of use that as a gauge as to where I want to start the first interval. Because as I said in the beginning of this beginning of this video, I want my heart rate to be around 135 to 140, or maybe 145 at the very end of the workout during the main set. So as I progress through the workout or through the warm-up, you know, as you guys can see, the last step is right around 195. I'll probably bump it up a bit until my heart rate reaches around 130, 135. And then that's where I'm going to start the workout. So hopefully the first interval my heart rate will be at the very low end of the zone, so 130 to 135. And then as we progress, my heart rate will get a little bit higher. And so that's how I kind of use the warm-up as a gauge to see where I should start the workout. And then, yeah, I'll take lactate. I won't take lactate after the first one, but probably after the second interval, I'll take a lactate sample, show you guys what it is. And that's something I've also noticed as I've been using lactate more and more, is that it takes me a while to start clearing lactate. And so what I've noticed is, in the past, you know, if the progression was, let's say, 200, 210, 220, my lactate actually may be lower at the third interval at 220 than it was at the first interval at 200. Just because as the body warms up, you know, the first interval or two, kind of like a shock to the system. So it takes a bit for the body to start clearing the lactate. And so, just an interesting little thing I've noticed. One of the few things I've noticed as I've been taking lactate. So, really putting more emphasis on the warm-up now, not skipping it, making sure to really ease into the ride. And then, yeah, kind of want the lactate to be between, as I mentioned, 1.6 to 1.9 for these LT1 intervals. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let me just finish the warm-up, and then, yeah, I'll probably talk to you guys after the second interval, which will be either, hi, my heart rate's pretty low today, so maybe 210, 215. Alright, we're just finishing up. The interval got 15 seconds left. This is the second. First one was 215. This one was at 225. Heart rate's stupid low today. Not, maybe I'm just getting really fit or really fatigued. We'll see, but pause that. We'll take some lactate. See where we're at. Alright. Here, make sure which one's water and which one's carb mix. Don't want to clean the finger with carbs. Alright. 1, 2.
You're not wiping your finger on a sweaty towel, are you?
No. Alright, third, that's a good drop. Alright, that looked like a clean sample. If it's above 2.0, I know it wasn't a clean sample because heart rate's been 128. So, see where it is. 0.9. Whew! There we go. So, yeah, good to see. So we'll go up to 240 for the next one, and then take another sample and see how it goes. But that's the lowest I've seen it yet. So keep on going.
What were you at though? What was your
225. So yeah, getting somewhere. All right, finishing up the interval at 240. Heart rate's definitely a bit higher. Been around 133, 134. So I expect the lactate to also go up a little bit. Also, +6 performance condition on the Garmin. That's something I can talk about later. But let's see. Alright, coming up. That one is carbs. This is water. Alright. I'm bleeding a lot today. 1, 2. Alright. Look at that. That was clean. Didn't even touch skin on that, so that should be accurate. Watch it pop up at 2.2. Alright. And it's 0.9, so we are still there. So yeah, we got, that's pretty good. That's really good actually. That's the best numbers I've seen in a long time, which is motivating. Now I think, I still don't want to go, probably go up to 255. And then, yeah, we'll see. Probably 255 for the last one, since lactate's low, so. All right.
Why not 260 as it says?
The next one says 250.
But the last one says 260.
Yeah, but that's the last one. We're not there yet.
Okay.
All right, we are 40 seconds left. We have 40 seconds left in the interval. Yeah, you want to show them? 255. Heart rate's definitely the highest it's been. Been around 140. So, yeah, lactate will be definitely a bit higher if I were to guess. But just how high? Well, we will find out in about 20 seconds. Water. Alright. We'll go. One, two. I'm getting lucky with the blood drops this time. I touched a little skin, but hopefully it won't be. Let's see.
I touch skin.
I don't think that's accurate, but we'll see. We'll do one more at 255, and if yeah, we'll see. One more 255, and if you get another 2.0 with a good reading, then we know that you're above threshold. So, all right, last one, same power. Down the intensity. All right, 40 seconds left. Once again, 255 watts. Heart rate's been a little lower this time around. 1 or 2 beats maybe. But we'll see where the lactate's at. Make sure it's clean. Alright, one. More water. 2. Should be good. Let's see. There we go. It sounds looks more accurate. So
1.2.
Yeah, it's also more careful taking the strip out of the container. I think last time I grabbed it by the part you take the sample with. So yeah, good to see. 1.2, so right around there. A little low, but rather underdo these endurance section than overdo them. But I'll finish up the cool down, and then yeah, I'll record a few thoughts or close out this video after the workout. But thanks again for Dad filming.
Yep.
Oh, well, workout is done, run is done. Just did an easy 4 miles off the bike. I think I'm gonna hit 55 miles this week, so that's running's going pretty well. But I just want to wrap up the video, talk about the lactate a little bit. First, I'll start off with the cons of using lactate. I was thinking about this on my run. I think there's 3 major cons. The first, obviously, is the price. That video, or making this video, cost me, I think, $8–10, because each of those strips is pretty much $2 a pop. So it's definitely not cheap. However, as I am a coach and I do want to learn more about it, I thought it'd be a useful tool to invest in and learn more. They say, you know, the experience is the best teacher. I think someone said that. If not, I just did. So yeah, just use it more, become more experienced with it. I think it can only help me. The second con is that it takes time, obviously time away from training. My friend Sade likes to say, well, I'm taking Lactate, he's training, so you gotta take that into account. And third, it can mess with you a little bit mentally. You know, if you're training and you suddenly see a high lactate number, that can definitely get to you a little bit. So you just have to keep that in mind. And you have to be precise. As you guys saw, I messed up one of the measurements. You really have to make sure you're getting a clean sample every time. Otherwise, yeah, you know, data is useless if it's not collected correctly. So those are kind of the big cons to lactate training. The pros, however, so I have a list here. The first is really easy to gauge progress. You know, you can also use heart rate. That's something I've noticed too, is that lactate is very similar to heart rate, or at least it progresses similarly to heart rate. As you guys may have seen in the video, I kind of knew or had a somewhat of a good guess as to where the lactate was going to be based on my heart rate. I saw that my heart rate was low at the beginning of the video, and so I knew that my lactate was going to be on the lower side, and well, wouldn't you know it, it was. And so I think it is, you can compare it to heart rate, but you get a very precise measurement with the lactate. You know, you get, 1.4, 1.6. With heart rate, it can definitely drift, so it can be between 133 and 137. So if you want to be more precise, I think lactate can help with that. Another, I'm not sure if this is a pro, but another interesting takeaway I've had from using lactate and other devices is actually how low my lactate is compared to power in the past is actually very similar to the performance condition I get on my watch from Garmin. So for example, today, as you guys saw, my lactate for the power, it was pretty low compared to what it's been in the past. And I got a very positive performance condition on the Garmin, +6. And that's because Garmin looks at heart rate to power ratios, I believe, on the bike. So if your heart rate's super high compared to power that you pushed and the same in the past, then it's gonna give a bad performance condition. So if you can kind of combine all these tools, I think you can do a very good job of kind of gauging as to where your performance is on the day. And I think the last pro to using lactate kind of ties in along with the past few points I mentioned is being able to compare to previous workouts. So for example, I'll pull up my Training Peaks right now on my phone, and since I've done the same workout multiple weeks in a row, and I'll log the data, I can tell you guys my progression and can see that the training that we've been doing is working. So for example, today is December 20th, so back on December 6th, I was at 1.4 millimoles after 225 watts and 1.5 millimoles after 235 watts. Today, as you guys saw, 1.2 after 255 watts. Let's see another example. We can go back even farther. We did 6 by 10 minutes on November 29th. And I was at 1.8 millimoles after 210 watts. So you can kind of see that the progress has already been, I've been progressing, which is good to see, obviously. But those are kind of my takeaways from using lactate. Do you need this? No. Would I recommend my athletes use this? Probably not. I do think, however, it could be very useful, like getting tested. So for example, you go to a lab, you get your lactate done, you know your power curve, you know where LT1 is, you know where LT2 is. If you get power numbers that correspond to those lactate measurements and heart rate, then that honestly will get you 99% of what owning a lactate meter will do. And you won't have to pay for the strips, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So if you do want to get into the data, that's what I would recommend doing, but I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't go into buying a lactate meter for yourself unless you truly want to. But anyway, I think that's going to do it. If you guys have any questions regarding lactate testing, whatever you want, or whatever you want to answer, drop them in the comments down below. Shoot me a message on Instagram, comment on my Strava, and I'll do my best to get back to you. What I am interested in though, I want to try to do a lactate test before and after hitting the sauna. So I want to take it right before the sauna, sit in a cranking hot sauna for like 30 minutes, get my heart rate jacked up, and see how that impacts lactate. I think that would be a pretty cool test. So if you guys want to see that, also drop a comment below. And I think that's going to do it for this video. I think the next one will probably be some holiday themed video. I'm going to be going to Florida to train, and then we have the Zwift baseline camp video, which will be coming out. That one's going to be a great one. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.